we're here waiting for Rod Arrow auction preview. But man, just parking. So we've been here in this parking lot line for, I don't know, 10 minutes. And we probably have another 10 minutes to go, I'm going to guess. So, you know, typical car week crowded stuff. But anyway, we'll see what's inside.
Tiafo Garage.
Here we have a Bugatti. This is a Veyron. This is, I think, similar to the one that Hoovy purchased. I wonder if this is the one that Hoovy purchased. No, this does not have the blue interior of Hoovy's. Kind of cool details. 2010 Bugatti Veyron. This is a 2020 Aston Martin Zagato. You can tell by the double bubble roof. That's always a Zagato signature item. It's got kind of a neat tail light detail there. A lot of carbon fiber. So they are estimating 3.5 to 4.5 million on this one. Beautiful 300 SL convertible. Just pristine. Looks like it's definitely been redone. This one estimated 1.85 to 2.2 million. Very, very pretty. And here's a coupe to accompany it. This one has the Rouge wheels. That convertible did not. Estimate here 1.9 to 2.2 million. One more SL Roadster. This one, the engine on display. So 300 SLs all in a row here. And this one they're estimating 1.1 to 1.3. Here we have a 2018 GT2 RS. Estimated price $525 to $600. It has a white sock package, carbon fiber galore. Nice air intakes here. Oh, this is a roof modified 997, a 2001 roof RT Roadster, 900,000 to 1.2 million estimate. It is surprisingly a Tiptronic. Oh well. Looks like it's got a modified steering wheel. Here's a Targa with a plastic back window. Signature roof wheels. Interesting to see roof treatment on a 997. Not sure I've ever seen that before. So Singer, of course, known for its impeccable details. Long hood treatment. DLS has these extra flares. Got a roll bar. Quite small, actually, in person. I guess it makes sense. It's on the 964 platform, but not a large car. Especially in comparison, say, to like the more modern 911s. So this Singer DLS, estimated price 2.9 to 3.2. So for those of you wondering, the Singer does in fact have the orange colored badge, or at least this one does, and not the more modern red colored Porsche badge. So this brings back memories. I used to have a car almost exactly like this, except it was a gated manual. Spider, Daytona seats, red on tan. Really fun car to drive. A little bit wide for me. I do like the smaller, older cars. I've just come to appreciate those, but it was a fun car. Also, ownership cost was higher than I would have liked. 360s are supposedly better than 355s, but even so, they just average maybe $5,000 a year to maintain. It appreciated that same amount over the same period, but still, it just with the modern engine and check engine light, California smog, etc., it just costs a lot to keep it running. But certainly, the car has a presence and a lot of fun. They are estimating on this car 80 to 100, which sounds about right for an F1. So sort of a sister car to the 360, the follow-on F430 actually shares the same doors and windshield as the 360. This one also a Spider, different engine than the 360. This one's a manual, and manual 430s were as rare as hen's teeth. This one they're estimating 385 to 425 price range for this very nice convertible F430 Spider gated manual. So keeping in the 2000s Ferrari convertible theme, here's another Ferrari 360 Spider. This one is black and this one is gated. So let's see what the price estimate is here on this one. You can see the gated 6-speed there, and the price estimate 250 to 300. Wow, this must be low miles. Yeah, 4,600 miles. Maybe that's why I think it's that high. That sounds a little high to me, but we'll see how the option goes. It does have the Daytona seats, which is fairly rare for a manual. A lot of times they were kind of the base cars for the manuals, whereas the Daytona seats were more for the option vehicles. This is a fairly special car. It says a 993 Turbo S, which you can tell by this air intake there. Rare bird, kind of right at the end of the run, manual car. So it's like a turbo wide body, but with the extra air intake, I think a little bit of extra power. I'm not sure if there's any differences on the bottom. Maybe this air lift is a little bit more extended. Anyway, not a lot of these. Let's see, their estimated price, $650 to $750. One of 183 U.S. market examples with 4,000 miles. So, nice car.
So this is a car I remember from my youth, and when I say this is the Lotus Etna, and when I say that, I don't mean that I remember owning one, because I didn't. This is the only one there ever was, or even seen one. But I was 14 years old when this car was made, and I had just subscribed to Road and Track, and my first issue of Road and Track had this on the cover. So let's check it out. This is a very unique car. One of one. It's only one. They only made the prototype. Crazy car. And at that age, I'd already loved wedge cars. I knew about the Countach, which is coincidentally parked right next to one, but we'll take a look at that in a minute. So it looks like they're estimating this one at $250,000 to $400,000 for this 1984 Lotus Etna. Truly a unique car, a collector's item, a one of one Lamborghini Countach. Greg's over there taking a look at that. Again, Countach for me, it was the gateway drug to all wedge-shaped cars, much like the Etna beside it. This is obviously a US model. You can tell by those hideous front bumpers. These front bumpers really don't go on this car at all. They look terrible, but it's still an extremely cool car. So $800,000 to $900,000 for this 88 Lamborghini Countach 5000 QV. There we go. Still an absolutely badass car. Let's do a small detail here. That's the same gas cap as on my 308 GT4. Voila.
Here we have a Dino 246 GTS. So we know a lot about this car. Looks to be in pretty nice condition. Let's see, it's a 73. So this is after mine, so it doesn't have the clapper wipers, and also has the black trim that comes up a little bit higher on the door. And then this has the round intakes on the bottom. A bit hard to tell, but yeah, those round intakes rather than the flat square intakes, which is what drove the moving up of that satin color. 525 to 600. Nice Daytona seats. Looks to be in pretty nice condition. I always check these window switches to see if they're the original Daytona switches rather than like the 308, later 308 ones. Those ones are the Daytona switches. So that's a good sign. Just so pretty, these Dinos. Well, it looks like the glass is missing here, unfortunately. But I don't know how hard that will be to source. This Lamborghini Diablo SV Monterey edition is really quite stunning with the color. It's got the SV along the side, some carbon fiber inside. This one they are estimating $550 to $650. Nice looking car. For those of you who remember the Sammy Hagar video, I Can't Drive 55, he drove one of these. It's a Ferrari 512 BB, Berlinetta Boxer, and it is a 1979, estimate $270 to $300. A lot of people are surprised and maybe frustrated that these cars have not appreciated the way like the Dino has, even though it's V12 rather than a V6. And the reasons for that, I think my take is that it's a bit of a Grand Tourer that's mid-engine rather than a sports car that's mid-engine. And then, I mean, they're very pretty, but I think they're not quite as pretty and sort of, you know, no bad lines as a Dino. I think the front overhang is a bit long in my view, but not a bad looking car. And maybe a value, who knows, but they have kind of held flat for some time now. Here we have another roof 997, and this one is a coupe, and it looks like it's not part of the auction. Rather, it is part of a private offering. This one is a manual, so that's a check in my book. And man, the 997 is such a great platform, so the idea of a roof 997 definitely appeals to me. It's got, of course, the famous roof wheels. 2012 roof RT12R, offered at $695. $695 private sale. Cool looking car. I think people wouldn't know what it is. I wouldn't know what it is just seeing it on the road, but those wheels kind of give it away as a roof. It's a classic 87 turbo Porsche, the famous whale tail. Interesting to see how much space there is between the wheel and the fender there, set up as a factory. To me, I would probably be tempted to put a spacer on there. Again, kind of petite. Makes you realize how much bigger 911s have gotten. And they are estimating 225 to 260, no reserve on this one.
All right, we're coming up on one of my most favorite modern cars in the world. This is an Alfa Romeo 8C Competizione. That the way they achieve this striking red is they actually paint the car gold first, and then they put a layer of red, or maybe like a transparent red, over that in order to get this very unique color. Yeah, very cool. I think these seem to be selling in the 300,000 to 400,000 range. Let's go see what they estimate. 2008 model, and it's 250 to 280. A little lower than what I thought.
All right, here we have a Speedster with the one I love, the beehive tail lights, and this says the bumper overriders. If you see those, chances are it's not a replica. The other way to tell it's not a replica is if this sheet metal here is in fact metal. So on the replicas, you'll see a flat piece because the fiberglass has to wrap around for strength. So this is a real one, and nice, simple interior as Speedster was intended. Speedsters have the ignition on the right, not on the left, and this one is pretty nice looking. It also has the overriders in the front, hard to come by. And the estimated price on this one, $325 to $375. All right, here we have a crazy looking Lamborghini supercar, hypercar. I don't know what it is. I don't keep track of these more modern cars, so it's like a race car. Yeah, pretty cozy in there, no steering wheel on at the moment. And let's cruise around to the side and the back. Enormous wing, enormous car really, it's very wide. Let's come up the side here, let's find out what it is and how much they think it's going to cost. Okay, it is a 2022 Lamborghini Essenza SC V12, 1.6 to 2.2 million, one of 40 of these. So, kind of wild looking. Not sure if it's street legal, but looks pretty wild. Nice classic long hood here. This one is a 68 911S, okay. 175 to 225, offered without reserve, matching numbers, no sunroof, and 68 was still the short wheelbase. So that means, so you can tell by the location of this port here, which is there to access the transfer spring, is right up next to the wheel well opening. The longer wheelbase ones, they move the wheel out and the metal out, so that, but this hole stayed in the same place, so there's more sheet metal there, and you can tell the difference. So 68, I think, had some unusual features in the interior, if I'm remembering correctly. I think the 68 was a 2-liter, and then they went to the 2.2, around 70, and then 71 and 72 had the 2.4 liter that mine has. That is open. So here, those of you aficionados can say whether or not that's the correct 68 only, as I recall. door panel setup. Nice looking old BMW. You can see how far back the kidney look goes on these BMWs. This was one of the originals. I want to say this is a 328 from the 1930s. Let's see, yes it is, 1939 328 Roadster, $400,000 to $500,000 estimate. I bet this would just be a blast to drive. And open car, lots of small footprint, airy, light, I'm sure. Just a cool little runabout. Yet another roof. This is like a roof week. This one has Fuchs, modern interpretation of Fuchs wheels rather than the roof wheels that I'm used to seeing. It is an 87 Carrera 3.4. Estimated price $850,000 to $1.1 million. Air-cooled flat six, but it's got the wide body, but no wing, or the wing that deploys. It looks like similar to a 964. And here a roof 993. This does have the classic roof look and wheels. I'm gonna guess this one is turbocharged. Looks like it's got some serious engine back there with the hole in the back port. It is a 1998 roof CTR 2 Sport, 3 to 3.5 million estimate, one of 14 cars, 580 horsepower, 3.6 liter twin turbo with a manual. I wouldn't mind this car. It looks quite sinister actually, and pretty badass. Even the roof symbol in black on black, subtle, cool. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And the Stinger exhaust. This is something I wouldn't mind having at all. I'm gonna say that's also wider than the regular turbo, looks to me like. So again, that sort of roof signature steering wheel. The rest of it looks fairly stock. Looks like it's got a boost gauge down there by the shifter, and a cell phone holder. How about that? There's a 911 Speedster. This is from, say, the late 80s, the impact bumper look. It's got some nice cocoa mats there. Yeah, 89 Speedster, 275 to 325. Oh, it was Jerry Seinfeld's between 09 to 2023. 2,100 miles, wow, low miles. So while it doesn't have the round taillights that I like of the early ones, man, this color is just stunning. Really nice color interior. It's sort of maroon on gray, blue gray. It's beautiful. Oh, this might be an Emory or something. It's got the gas tank filler in the hood. Let's see what this is. Oh, it is an Emory. 64 356 Emory Outlaw Cabriolet. No wonder I like it so much. 500 to 575. Quite a beautiful car. And a Polo twin plug dry sump engine. So these cars used, I believe, a 911. That's why it's got the shroud. It's a 911 engine, but with the 2 of the cylinders of the 6 cylinders lopped off. So it's a 4-cylinder version of the 911 engine, which is what Singer is kind of known for. Emory was kind of known for. So this may look like a regular 356, but in the engine is a little bit of extra stuff here on the outside, and that is because it's got the, I believe, the 4-cam of the GTS versions of these. So this is a 1957 Porsche 356A Carrera GT lightweight coupe, 900 to 1.2 million. Exceedingly rare factory coupe. I think this engine is the same one built and put into the 550 Spider, and it's a very complex overhead cam, high revving, but fancy rare car. $1 million 356, if you can believe it, but apparently worth it. This is when the name Carrera, I think, was the early days of this Carrera nomenclature, indicating it was very, very special, even at the time. Now, Porsche puts Carrera on many of their cars, but this is kind of one of the earliest. This is one of the last Speedsters. It's interesting, the exhaust that comes out of this vertical element in the rear bumper here. So no beehives on these later ones. But, nice color combination, red on black, like Latino. Kind of cool details here, like that rear view mirror. Top windshield, of course, and this one has been bored out, and but I think it is the original engine. So estimate 325 to 375, one of the last 356 Speedsters built. powered by 1882 big bore engine. Oh, and its original engine. I see they're all have that on the side. Here we have a cool old Alfa Romeo, replete with tape holding the headlight covers on. Some pretty nice patina. And it's a 1960 Giulietta SZ by Zagotto, so I don't see the double bubble, but I guess maybe that was before they did that. And we're at 450 to 550 for this, one of 200 lightweight Giulietta SZ models with alloy Zagotto coachwork. Love those nice, simple, airy interiors. Tiny, tiny car. But man, that'd be great to just buy it and drive it just the way it is. So this car's on my short list. It's a, I want to say 2019 Speedster. So the Porsche did yet another round of Speedster, shorter windshield, manual GT3 engine with individual throttle bodies, and sounds just great. I heard one driving down the road once. Stinger exhaust, and it's just a cool looking the way the aft deck kind of comes up to the passenger compartment. It's got the single bolt wheels. And yeah, 2019 Speedster, 450 to 550 is what they're estimating. 58 miles, basically delivery miles on this one. What a cool car. Definitely on my short list. Here we have a Bugatti Chiron. Estimate is 3 to 3.5 million.
Tiafo Garage.